I showed you the 2020 OneNote bullet journal template that I created. So now I'm going to show you how I utilized that template in order to make my personal 2020 bullet journal planner. So it looks very similar to the template. I pulled that template directly in, and then I just modified from there. I use the OneNote app and the OneNote 2016 desktop version, both, probably 50-50. I will say that I prefer the OneNote 2016 desktop version over the app. It just has greater functionality as far as I'm concerned. I know that when you download the Office 365 suite currently, it does not download Microsoft Office 2016 desktop. However, if you go in and Google it, you can download that separately still. So this is in OneNote 2016. I have all the same sections. So I have One Day at a Time, which is my kind of overview. I have all my collections. I have the big picture, which is all of my yearly information. By the moons is all of my monthly information. Here and Now is weekly and my actual planner calendar. I have a notes section, and then I have quick notes, which again, just to reiterate, anytime I send something to my OneNote notebook from anywhere else, so from Pinterest, from somewhere else on the web, when I send an email, all of that always goes to quick notes, and that enables me to then just go in as I have time and kind of reorganize and put things where I want them. The other thing that I did in my personal bullet journal is I've created subsections. So all of these right here is, it's mostly personal information. And then of course my calendar. I also have a subsection that is entirely for work. And within that subsection, I have a number of additional sections. All of these items are for work. I can use this little arrow up here on the top left to navigate back to the main notebook. And so then I also have a subsection for recipes. This is kind of a new thing, so it's very much a work in progress. There's not many recipes in here now, but it's one of my goals for this year is to better organize my recipes. And then I put all of my templates and extras into a subsection of their own, just so that it's kind of out of my way. So when I am in OneNote, in the Office 2016 desktop version, I really like to get rid of some of these items around the edge just to enable me to have a larger view of my planner itself. So in order to do that, I have tried to create tables of contents in such a way that I can navigate through the notebook without needing these section tabs at the top and without needing the page guide over on the right hand side. So I can expand my page view. This again is all my collections, the main cover page. Within here, I have a table of contents, and this links directly to the cover pages of each section or subsection in the notebook. And I did it that way because the cover pages are where I have my individual tables of contents. So if I navigate from one table of contents to another, it means that I can really get anywhere I need to go without having to have those tabs at the top and the page list over on the right. So after One Day at a Time, the next section that I have is all my collections. And the cover page of all my collections has two tables of contents. It has a table of contents, again, that links directly to all of my individual cover pages. And then it also has a table of contents of all of the pages in this section. So within all my collections, you know, they're basically the same pages that I had in my template notebook. I have a few extras. I have the skills that I use with my Alexa devices in my home, but all of these pages, I can click on any of these links directly from that table of contents. It takes me to the page. And then if I want to navigate back, every single page has this little rainbow table of contents, which takes me to the covers. So it's easy to get around in my notebook. So I can go back to all my collections cover, And here are the pages on that cover. The next section that I have is the big picture. Again, this has my 2019 yearly view, 2020, 2021. For my personal bullet journal, I've added birthdays that I like to keep up with. I have my kids' school schedules, yearly school schedules. So really anything that is a year overview that I need to be able to easily keep up with is what I have in this section. Then the next section that I have is by the moons, and this is again all monthly. And just like the template here, I've created a collapsible table of contents. This table of contents is very long because there are a lot of pages in this section. It's too much to try to be able to view if it's all expanded. So what I've done is I've made this collapsible, and I generally keep everything collapsed except for the month that I'm currently on. And I can always go in and I can, you know, when January's over, I can then collapse January. I can double click on February, and that expands the month of February. So within January, I actually moved my mood tracker from all my collections into my month. So yeah, I just kind of moved this around from month to month. I have a page for meeting agenda items, you know, things that I want to make sure to cover in meetings that I have coming up, my tasks and priority items. Each month, of course, has a monthly overview that is just a calendar. It just shows the calendar for that month. And then I have my habit tracker for the month, which I actually write on and then just fill in as I go through the month. Then I have my fitness tracker for the month that I fill in and my food journal. Then the next section of this notebook is here and now, and this is my planner. You know, this is my calendar of things that I need to do each week. So again, on the here and now cover, I have an expandable table of contents because there's no way that I could, in order to view all of this, I would have to scroll so far down. So I usually just expand the month that I'm on. So within the month of January, I have a monthly calendar. In the template, I actually created a calendar to write on. I found that I have a lot of stuff going on in the month that was too much to try to write all of these things in. And I keep it generally, I enter my appointments into a Google Calendar. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up just taking a screenshot of that and then adding the screenshot to this page. And that was a little bit easier for me than trying to write in. But in the template, if I can find that template, in the 2020 template, I do have calendars to write on. So that's another option. So then on mine, I have my weekly breakdown. So here is kind of how I use that weekly. Up at the top, today is if there's a holiday coming up, I enter that information. And I really don't do a lot of stickers and that kind of stuff. I would love to, I just don't have the time to do it. You can certainly, I can add stickers and I can throw them on this page, and occasionally I do add cute little images when I have the time, but it's just not at the very top of my priority list for my personal planning style. So I do keep up with the weather, helps me know how I need to dress my little ones for school each day. And you know, things like upcoming paydays and whatnot. I have Be There is where I put anything really that's timed. So meetings, appointments, my kids' extracurricular activities, that sort of thing. Must do items or items that I really need to get done that day. You can see because I've migrated some of these that it doesn't always happen. But these are my top priority items for the day. Other to-dos are, things that if I have the extra time, I need to get them done. They need to get done at some point during the week. They don't necessarily have to be done on the day that I have them listed. And then any notes that I might have taken. And with this weekly view, it is possible to type in here or to write on it. Either is perfectly fine. I don't have the neatest handwriting, so I do generally just type things in, and I have a couple of different fonts that I have added so that, it shows up in a way that is nice for me to look at. But it's certainly an option to write in here. So, if I wanted to use this, I could just write into these these blanks. And this is a table, so it's easy to just expand these. And I also use I have a Samsung Note. I don't know, I think it's a Note 10, I'm not sure. But anyway, I do use OneNote with my phone when I'm on the go quite frequently. So in that situation, I very often write in here, and then it is an option to create handwriting to text. You do have to kind of write neatly, but I can write in here and then I can highlight whatever it is that I've written and then just ink to text, which is a nice feature in OneNote that I like a lot. And then the other thing that I have in my here and now section is I also have a weekly to-do list. So these are items that maybe I don't need to get done on a certain day, but I need to get them done at some point during the week. Then in my notes section, I have a cover page just like every other section. It has a table of contents to each of the cover pages for each of my sections, and then it has a table of contents for my individual notes pages. I have quick notes, and just like the template, the way that I use the quick notes section is that's where things go when I send them to OneNote. It's a temporary repository for me. Then my GAVS cover, remember this is a subsection within my notebook. So this GAVS cover, all of these right here are subsections, and they all have a ton of pages within them. So if I expand this, I can see that this section has all these individual pages in it. Because I have so much information in my OneNote notebook, I'm a huge fan of tables of contents. The other thing that I do a lot, because it helps me to keep things organized, is I use the headings. Using headings allows me to expand and collapse. It allows me to more easily search for and sort information. So that's definitely something that I make use of in my personal bullet journal. And then if you see, although I have this table of contents is for the entire subsection that's GAVS, but then I also have other individual tables of contents within this within these sections. And again, it is one way that I can keep things organized. And you can see that any place where you see this little gray arrow, I'm not sure if you can see this, this can be collapsed, and it's a huge long list, so it may not do it right away. But then of course I have my recipes cover, and within that I have expandable tables of contents as well. So the thing that I like about this format, like I said, is that I have the full use of my whole screen to see whatever it is that I'm looking at. So, when I'm doing my planning or just as I'm moving through my day, I can see this whole page. I can utilize my whole computer screen to see this whole page without having to have all of this information on the sides and on the top, because I have these tables of contents, which enable me to navigate through the notebook. So I hope that you have found this helpful.